Hello everyone, it's a pleasure being here today. My name is Craig Price. I'm the Senior Vice President for Mobility Products and Marketing for PCCW Global. I'm here to talk today about how we've used IoT Accelerator and integrated that with our global connectivity to provide a global IoT service. But let me take you through a little bit of history about Hong Kong Telecom and PCCW Global. Hong Kong Telecom has been providing IoT services into the domestic market now for over 10 years. Initially, it began with the Smart Living service, which was introduced in 2010 and was sold to as both B2C and also B2B2C, where we sold the service to various enterprises and developers. In 2014, we introduced our IoT services for smart educators and smart schools, with laptops being introduced to class for learning. Roughly about the same time, we also launched our 4G service. Interestingly, before the launch of 4G, most IoT services were being provided to our customers through traditional means, effectively fibre and Wi-Fi technologies to various gadgets. However, when we saw the launch of 4G, we saw the 4G service being a more ubiquitous service and providing easier connectivity, certainly to IoT devices. So, so we started introducing a number of services, certainly for the government, in terms of smart lighting, smart traffic control services, and also smart parking meters. Then in 2018, we saw an opportunity to provide IoT services on a global basis. And I'll talk about that later in terms of the assets we have that enable us to provide that. And essentially, at that time, we started looking for a service that could actually best meet our needs and best utilise our assets. During that particular search, we started talking to Ericsson and their IoT Accelerator product. At that time, we had particular market requirements. We're looking at servicing global enterprises and global VARs, SIs, and equipment manufacturers as a single provider for IoT connectivity globally. We had a number of assets, and the assets we had from our parent company were effectively our IMSIs and the over 300 bilateral roaming agreements that they had with various MNOs, which enabled us to provide services into over 180 different countries. The PCCW Global assets we wanted to leverage at that time were essentially our IPX network, which is our mobile connectivity network globally, which connects over 1,000 MNOs and MVNOs to our internationally. And we also wanted to maximise the utilisation of our customer-defined network and also the connectivity to the 360 cloud providers we connect to today, including all the hyperscalers. And if you can see from the diagram on the right of your screen, it enabled us, therefore, to provide a service where we could provide effectively application to device connectivity without breaking it out into the web, and to which we can offer a QoS all the way from the application to the device. The glue binding this particular service together was essentially our global IPX connectivity network, which we have now connected Ericsson's IoT Accelerator to. But it enables us to take advantage of a number of technologies, certainly as we move towards 5G, where we see that we were able to actually use the network to provide local breakout, direct connectivity, reduce latency, and provide a very secure form of global connectivity which is highly redundant and currently being used to support essentially the transport of data for mobile services around the world. A very strong, proven technology, and one which enables us to provide a high quality of service to our customers who are looking to manage the connectivity of their devices at a global scale. So when we started to implement this particular service, the core to the implementation of this particular service was effectively the Ericsson Mobile Connectivity Management Service, the IoT Accelerator. As I mentioned before, we added cloud connectivity to that particular service, and we use the mobile network connectivity and the bilaterals to access the devices within the various countries we service. We also considered that when we actually provide this service, we also need to consider that we typically have an IoT application platform that's being used by our customers. The application itself, because enterprises actually buy applications, they don't buy connectivity per se, and also the devices. So there's two ways we've tackled that as we move forward with this product. We could ask a customer to bring it themselves, but also we've been working very closely on developing an IoT ecosystem, which is important for the development and delivery of these services to the marketplace. And I'll talk about that a little later. So as we start to pull these particular products together, we start to effectively develop a plan where we center our service on the IoT Accelerator product. However, then we need to add value to that. I mentioned connectivity, but also we see ourselves adding a numerous other services. So we're working now to add value to the product by adding a portal to our existing environment, which will enable customers to not only access the IoT Accelerator product, but also access the software-defined network services and various other products such as security. As that develops, we're also going to add the various additional services such as access to our cloud networks, the gateway, and various other services that will continue to add value to the product and also increase the value of the product to our customers. Ultimately, what our vision is to provide a end-to-end digital IoT service to our customers where if they come to our portal, they'll be able to access the IoT Accelerator product. They'll be able to access the cloud connectivity services, the various applications which will be generating through a meeting place or a marketplace. So we see the Ericsson product, the IoT Accelerator product, as essentially the first stepping stone in a suite of products to be able to enable us to provide end-to-end IoT device connectivity. And of course, during that time, we've had a number of challenges such as the eSIM, which is coming down into the market, and how that is going to impact IoT. And as I mentioned before, cloud connectivity. Now, I mentioned previously that the IoT ecosystem was important for the development of an end-to-end solution. And for us, as we've been developing the IoT Accelerator product to meet the various connectivity requirements of our customers and also the security requirements, etc., we've also been developing partnerships globally to support our customer base. And so far, we've developed partners in 37 countries, covering 12 industries, 8 industry verticals, but also they're helping us generate opportunities and helping us meet their various customers' needs. I mentioned that because one of the interesting aspects we've discovered as we move forward with the IoT Accelerator service is that there's a number of channels we need to take into account when we market the service. Often there's a local integrator that we need to be involved with. There could be a value-added reseller where they're providing a particular application, or the customer may have all these services and we're just providing connectivity. But also, we've also started to focus very much now on effectively having a digital channel to the market, where customers can come in and effectively order their services automatically without the need to interface to people. Because as we start to service this market and as the demand for these services grows, we see a greater demand for automation, effectively making these particular services simpler, which is not just a function of the services and the marketplace we may put in place, but also a function of how we develop the IoT ecosystem. At the end of this, in the next couple of slides, I'll take you through some presentations from our partners and some of the solutions we're actually providing in the marketplace today. For example, we're partnered with a company called Shaw, who have a health management platform and provide contactless health services. We're working with them with a couple of hospitals in Hong Kong, but also at the same time we're working with them to provide services to their customers globally. I mentioned that I use the term contactless because in the world of COVID, even in hospitals, they are trying to minimise the level of contact between the caregiver and the individual. So these services we see is not just being used for remote services, but also for contactless services. And we see certainly a lot of interest in remote healthcare services in the marketplace generally. Another example of not so much a health service is the concept where we're providing services where we're helping a customer manage robots. This is OT Shaw. They provide disinfecting robots for large areas of space, such as an airline terminal, but also in planes. And they're providing this service is being used to actually not just manage the robot and work and also manage the telemetrics of the telemetry of the robot, but also effectively use this to gather video information and enable the robot to effectively clean areas without the need for humans to be actively involved in that cleaning process. A third example of a IoT solution that we're working with is Naya Systems. They supply a lift communication system, so the lift can communicate in terms of its maintenance requirements, but also provide the video surveillance of the lift and also the call and emergency help services within the lift itself. Naya are an interesting example of an IoT supplier. The lift market has been managed quite closely by just a handful of suppliers, and effectively Naya are providing their systems as a retrofit to the older lifts to effectively use IoT to develop a higher level of maintenance services within the various lift systems that exist in the world today. So in summary, we've found the IoT Accelerator service supplied by Ericsson a significant stepping stone for our service. It's architectured in a way that meets our particular requirements in providing a global IoT connectivity service. We've leveraged our Cloud Connect product, and the Ericsson service is actually sitting now within our Console Connect or software-defined network ecosystem, which then allows us to connect to various clouds. And the IPX system is then enabling us to provide very low cost, low latency, and highly redundant IoT global connectivity services globally. So the partnership we see with Ericsson is being quite significant to us. and also important for us as we move forward with these solutions. And we're seeing day after day, we're seeing more and more innovative solutions come to the marketplace, and the basic services, the base services supplied by Ericsson and ourselves are effectively becoming an enabler of global IoT services around the world. It's a short presentation. I would love to have gone into some of these areas in a lot more detail, but I'd like to thank you very much for your time and attention, and I hope you found this presentation interesting. Thank you very much.